Well, good morning. Welcome again to Coffee with Ed. Hey, I sure look forward to meeting with you every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a kind of the highlight of my week. So, got the old coffee pot on. Hey, just wanted to continue on with our train of thought. This last couple sessions we're talking about what hurt does to you. And I had shared with you what had happened with the little picture with my mom and all of that. And I wanted to clarify one thing because hurt comes in different packages. Some people's hurt is a lot deeper than other people's hurt. Now, back in my early years, I was hurting really bad. I shared that in my 8th grade years. But the truth is, I had a mom and a dad who loved me. So when my mom said, I wish I'd had a little girl, that wasn't because she didn't love me. Fact is, she loved me and was a great mom. My dad took us hunting and fishing. And so I had really good parents who gave me all kinds of love. I couldn't receive it because I had bought into the lie that they didn't want me. But the moment God showed me that picture and I realized, oh my goodness, that's what happened to me, then discovered my mom and dad loved me and it all just come flooding back in. So my hurt level was a lot different and I healed of that very quickly. One of my staff members was just talking this morning about hurt and what had happened to him, and he'd been through a difficult situation with his mom, very controlling, manipulative, just a mess, and then later on through a divorce and another situation. And so as he was talking about that, just realizing that because there's different levels of hurt, my story, you may say, well, man, you weren't hurt near as bad as I was. And that's true. I get people all the time who their story is so bad. I go, how in the world did you live through that? I mean, it's stuff that's just off the charts. And I wanted to share that because I think it's important you understand, as you listen to my story, and I said the other day, my testimony won't be the same as yours. My hurt level won't be the same as yours. I can share I don't have the same hurt level that some people do. And so as you're working this through, understanding the deeper you've been hurt, the more time and the more effort it takes to really get that healing. It takes longer to deal with that stuff. Mine happened quickly and I was over it because the truth is I had bought a lie. My mom wasn't bad to me. My dad wasn't bad to me. I had bought a lie. The enemy had spoken that they didn't want me. So once the lie was exposed, I go, whoa, they love me. And I was able to quickly just go on and not look back at that. Others will have a more difficult time. So don't put yourself in the category of somebody else. Your hurt level will be intense. No matter where you're at, hurt is hurt. We get hurt all kinds of ways. I remember in school, I don't know I'm sure you know this, but when you go to school as a little boy or a little girl, kids do not think about what they're going to say to you. They may look at you and go, wow, you're ugly, or something like that just hurts you. And because kids, whatever a kid thinks, they just say. Or when you grow up and you get to be adult, sometimes that person, you may want to say something to that person, but you probably shouldn't because it's going to hurt them, so you don't. Kids don't have that buffer. It keeps them doing. They just go, hey. I remember one time years ago, back when we had the dorms, I had a young man come in and he sits down in the chair right where the camera's sitting, and we were just visiting, and he's just nervous. And we're just talking, and he was in restoration class, and so I was just visiting with him, but he just couldn't sit still. All of a sudden he goes, well, you know, my nose is big enough you could light an airplane on it. I'm telling you the truth. He said that. I went, what? We weren't talking about noses, we weren't talking about airplanes, we weren't talking about anything. We were just talking, but he's sitting there, and he's literally knew that at any moment I'm going to point out his nose is huge and that you could light an airplane on it. So he didn't want me to say that and hurt him, so he just blurts it out. So I look at his nose, and on the top of his nose is a little flat place. I would have never even noticed it other than he pointed it out. So I said, well, tell me, what do you mean? Well, he said, you know, all my years in school growing up, every time the kids would come in, they'd see me, they'd go, wow, have you seen your nose? You could light an airplane on that thing. And this young man, that's began to, every time he looked in the mirror, here's this huge runway on his nose. Well, he became so paranoid over it, you know, a lot of times he'd sit there with his hands up covering his nose. He was doing that sitting there when he was talking to me, because he was desperately afraid I was going to point out that nose. And the truth is, God gave him that nose, just like God gave me this dimple. That's part of what makes us unique and special. And Satan's right there, and he knows he can use little kids, because they don't watch what they think, to point out those very things about you that he makes fun of. And so here again, hurt can happen in all kinds of ways. So as we start looking into this, when I'm asking you, you know, what hurt you? It could be an alcoholic parents, it could be all kinds of things. Very controlling, manipulative parents, no parents, parents who abandoned you. So hurt comes in a variety of things. So I just want you to know, sometimes those little hurts just keep picking away at us. You know, I had to deal with this kid and say, look, your nose, God gave you that. That's part of what makes you unique. No one else has that. Like not many people have my dimple. Remember, what God gives you that makes you unique is what Satan goes, I hate that. And he starts working to point that out to you. So as you're thinking about hurt, you can picture in your mind some things that'll come to the surface that will remind you of something that happened to you. So just kind of click on that and log on to that and go, okay, that's something I need to deal with. Is that really a defect, or is that really something God gave me that makes me special? Okay? You're going to find the very things that Satan makes fun of you about are the very things God designed you with and went, ooh, I love that. No one else has that. We'll see you next time.